Michael Church here, Crawl Space Ninja. Today we're going to share a video about reducing the #1 asthma trigger among children, and that is dust mites. A lot of people don't realize how bad dust mites are. They don't realize how to control dust mites or even eliminate them in certain situations. So we're going to give you some areas of the home to make sure you're taken care of, to eliminate those dust mite populations, and also some ways to reduce dust mite populations and maybe your kids' favorite toys and things like that. Stay tuned. If you're new to Crawl Space Ninja, we talk about everything related to crawl space encapsulation, indoor air quality. We even talk about dust mites. Hope you'll subscribe to our channel, ring that notifications bell. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, check out our DIY store and our franchise opportunities. So when I was a kid, I missed birthdays, I missed trick-or-treating, I missed pool parties and all kinds of fun stuff because I was that sickly kid. I had asthma growing up. And my parents, they did everything they could. They took me, I had to go to emergency rooms. They'd give me coffee for some reason. I guess they said that caffeine would increase the blood flow in my lung. I don't know. Anyway, I had to take all this medicine that wound up wearing away the enamel on my teeth. I had, attack inhalers, and then I had a daily inhaler, and then I had a once a week inhaler, just all kinds of issues I had to deal with. So whenever we found out that my oldest son was about to be born, I wanted to make sure that I knew enough about indoor air quality to prevent my son from having asthma. So I started this deep delve into what causes indoor air pollution, and come to find out, dust mites is one of the major problems that kids have with asthma. According to WebMD, it's the #1 trigger for asthma attacks among kids is dust mites. So I'm going to give you some information and maybe some things you didn't think about to help eliminate those hot spots for dust mites, and hopefully this information will help improve your indoor air quality too. So dust mites love the bedroom. In your kid's bedroom, the pillow, the mattress, the plush toys, the curtains, the carpet, the throw rug, all that stuff is just great environment for dust mites to thrive, okay? They estimate that a mattress can hold up to 10 million plus dust mites, and a pillow can hold 1 million plus dust mites. Even an ounce of dust can support thousands of dust mites. Think about that, an ounce of dust can have thousands of dust mites, okay? So if your kid's room is like my kid's room, it's like a dust magnet. There's dust on the headboard, there's dust on the curtains. My kids have reptiles in their room, which, sheds their skin and all that. Supposedly reptiles are, good for those people who have allergies and things like that. We got a bearded dragon. So if you got a reptile, comment below what kind of reptile you have. We love reptiles. Beardy, we got also a leopard gecko, and of course, golden doodles, right? So those things help eliminate, different allergens and things like that. But go inside your kid's room and look at it from a dust perspective. And don't go in there with some feather duster and just start, whacking everything and stirring up a dust storm, because that just makes it go airborne. If you're going to use it, make sure you use a hypoallergenic vacuum cleaner or something like that and vacuum those dusting surfaces, and make sure you wash those plush toys. As a matter of fact, plush toys are horrible for dust mites, okay? A lot of people say that you should freeze plush toys. Well, that doesn't actually, it'll kill the dust mite, but it doesn't get rid of their carcasses or their fecal matter, which is really the #1 trigger of the dust mite, is their dead bodies and their poop. So make sure you wash those plush toys, and some dryers have an allergy setting. Now be careful with this, because that to kill or eliminate that dust mite, it has to get up to 180 degrees. So you're not going to be able to wash the plush toy in 180 degree water, but you can maybe dry it in a dryer that has a setting of 180 degrees or higher, but it could melt certain parts of the toy. So be sure you keep an eye on not melting your kids' favorite toys, but wash them regularly, get as much dust mites out, let them air dry, put them out in the sun, different things like that to eliminate those areas inside your house that have huge dust mite problems. And back to the pillows and the mattresses, make sure you're using a dust mite proof pillow cover or mattress cover to help eliminate those. Wash the bedding on a regular basis, wash those curtains on a regular basis. If they got carpet inside those areas, make sure that's cleaned pretty regularly. And that's one way to eliminate a lot of dust mite triggers inside the bedroom. Also, your kids' play area, if they've got a favorite part of the house where they like to play. My kids like to play on a throw rug because it was obviously softer and they like to play on it. Well, you know, they'll put their face on that throw rug and they'll move a toy, or they'll play with their little toys. Make sure you're washing those throw rugs on a regular basis, or changing them out, taking them outside and beating them, letting them hang out in the sun. Dust mites don't like sunlight. They like the dark, they like the damp, and they like skin. They love to eat your shed skin. That's actually their food source, is every time you slough off skin, that's what they love, okay? So it's estimated that you regenerate the top layer of skin every 30 days. So the more of you in the house, the more shed skin you're giving them to eat on. It's gonna be impossible for you to stop that process. So what you wanna do is take those rugs out, change out your furnace filters on a regular basis to help capture as much of that dust as you can, and get those rugs out there, beat them, let them hang out in the sun for a little while to help get those dust mites out of there too. Of course, dust mites thrive in a high humid environment. So make sure you're controlling humidity inside the crawl space in the basement, and that should control humidity inside the rest of your home. If you've got a garage or something like that, that maybe you keep the garage door open so the animals can come in and out regularly, that's gonna build up a lot of humidity. And then when you open that door going into the living space, humidity is gonna rush in there. Most basements and crawl spaces are just naturally humidity. So get some humidity readers, see if you have a humidity problem, and then put in some dehumidification to control the humidity. Also, the HVAC system, if you have a central heating and air system that you haven't had the ducts cleaned on a regular basis, you want to make sure that you, at least if you've never had the ducts cleaned, obviously get them cleaned. But they recommend maybe every 3 to 5 years of cleaning the ductwork. That's another place dust mites like to hide. It's dark inside there. There's a lot of dust from your skin, like I talked about, that gets caught on the edges of the ductwork, so it's just a good place for them to live. Dust mites are so small that you can't see them with the human eye. As a matter of fact, I was doing this realtor conference, and I said, hey, you know, has anybody ever seen a dust mite? And this realtor goes, yeah, I've seen them dust mites. And I was like, really? You've seen dust mites before? And he goes, yeah, I've seen them dust mites. I you know, pull my covers back. Every time I pull my covers back, dust mites go running off my bed. I was like, no. Those are bed bugs. Those are not dust mites. So, you know, bed bugs are like little vampires that suck the blood and eat the blood out of your skin. Dust mites eat your dead skin, which you can't see. You actually have to have a really powerful microscope to see dust mites, which means they're really light and airy, okay? So they stay in the air a long time before they fall out of the air. So every time your HVAC system kicks on, if it's dirty, you're just recirculating those dust mite carcasses and their poop all throughout your house. So make sure you get your ducts clean on a regular basis. Also, speaking of HVAC systems, make sure you're replacing, or at least cleaning that air filter for that central heat and air unit on a regular basis. I'm not a big fan of filters that you have to clean. I prefer disposable air filters, but whatever you want to use is fine. If you are using a reusable air filter, make sure you clean it on a regular basis. Maybe put it out in the sun, let the UV light hit it a little bit to kill whatever's inside the filter. But if you're using a disposable filter, probably about a MERV 6 to a MERV 8 is what I would recommend. And then take some painter's tape and tape the edge where the cardboard meets the metal. Okay, so that cardboard filter meets the metal frame of the return. You can tape that seam and it'll keep air from bypassing that filter and cause more dust and air to go through the filter itself. Once that gets full of dust, it could be 30 days, could be 90 days. Change that thing out on a regular basis and do it all over again. That way it'll keep your ducts cleaned so you don't have to get them cleaned as often. 2 more tips. Number 1, make sure you get your HVAC system maintenance on a regular basis. We do ours twice a year. Some people say at least once a year. But the condensation line that runs from your heating and air unit can get clogged and it builds up zooglea. We have a lot of that issue in our condensate pumps and our sump pumps. It's like a snotty bacteria that builds up inside of that tube, that condensate line. And if that clogs up, then it'll back up water into the pan of the HVAC system, and then it's like air blowing over a lake. It's just picking up that humidity from that water that's standing inside the HVAC unit and pushing that humidity into your living space. So properly maintaining your HVAC system is important. I've even seen like snails and roly-polies crawl up in that HVAC condensate line if it's outside. They love to clog that thing too. And the final thing I want to recommend, as I mentioned before, you know, I had asthma as a kid. My parents smoked around me. Back then, You know, maybe they didn't know any better, but today we certainly do know better. So if you got kids with asthma, please don't smoke around them. In the car, in the house, smoke outside. That'll help them out too. I'm Michael Church, Crawl Space Ninja. We hope you make it a happy and blessed day, and we'll see you later.